Hi, it's me, MC of Healthy by George. I come every Friday and Sunday. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is called our sixth sense, proprioception. It's really, truly an amazing sort of awareness that our body has between our brain and our nerves. That is a fascinating concept and ability that we all have. So please think about subscribing. I'd love to see you here every Friday and Sunday or more frequently in comments and discussions because truly learning more about each of ourselves is going to create a healthier, stronger body and mind as we get into our older years. I'd love to see you subscribe. So proprioception. I'll never forget when I learned about what this was in working in neurology and the concept about knowing where you are in space and where your feet are, even though you don't look at them, or the fact that you can do things like touch your nose, touch your chin, touch your ears, and touch someone else's finger. It's part of the neurological exam without looking. The concept of proprioception is that it's your body's ability to sense where it is in positioning, where it is in movement and orientation in space, what's up, what's down. It's one of the things that they have you do, like you move your toes. They'll take and move your toe down and ask you, is that down or up? And they'll move it up. Is that up or down? It's really phenomenal that we have these amazing nerve endings in our hands and feet that connect to our body that give us that sense of where we are in space. Proprioception. They think it even goes further to give us this sense of well being, that when things are working well with your sense of proprioception, that it really makes you feel like everything's good. And I think sometimes when people feel like they feel off or there's something that they don't feel quite well. I think it's this sixth sense called proprioception that's telling us maybe we need a little more sleep or we need better nutrition or something, a rest, s- less stress or less anxiety. Because it's really a very interesting ability that our body has. And it's also one of the things that happens to decline as we get older. And I think one of the biggest reasons it's nerve functioning. So many people suffer with diabetes. And unfortunately, with diabetes, it damages what we call the peripheral nerves because of the amount of glucose, and the body really can't move that toxic sugar out of the bloodstream. And if it lingers around, it kind of damages the nerve endings in our hands and feet. And so those signals that come from our hands and feet to help us know where our joints and our feet are in positioning, especially when we're walking or standing, it takes longer for us to understand where we are in space. We also suffer from arthritis and joint damage. So that can reduce the sensitivity of our sense of where we are in space. As we get older, we lose muscle mass. That's also an issue because it's, again, not giving us the accurate feedback from our muscles and we're stiff. And so it's delayed in telling us where our hands and feet are. They have certain parameters when they're doing a neurological exam to tell where you are in the normative ranges when they do these various tap my nose, tap my finger, what's going on with your toes. Sometimes they have you do what's called a Romberg and you stand and balance to see if you sway. There's that too. There's all kinds of what seem to be silly testing, but all of it is looking at this very phenomenal ability called proprioception. And I think it's something that as we get older, our circulation decreases. And it also, too, contributes to nerve damage in our limbs and our tissue health. And I think also, too, as we get older, we are not challenging ourselves physically. And that's why doing yoga and doing Tai Chi or doing something that has gentle movement, you maybe Feldenkrais, I think it has some concepts around it. And so we want to do things so that when we are noticing maybe our proprioception is weakening, like we find it more difficult to balance or coordinate, or that we have a risk of falls, or we have trouble walking in the dark or struggling when we're walking on uneven ground. And movement feels a lot less rigorous, or doesn't you feel like you're working harder when you're moving versus effortless? Those are all signs of diminishing proprioception. So, what can we do? Guess what? We need to do balance exercises. And I've been working on this because it's something that I know with my hip, I'm weak on the left side. So I've really been working hard to stretch and work on balance, standing up on my toes, rocking back on my heels, anything that can help you standing on one leg, walking heel to toe in a sync, do the alpha. Have I been drinking walk heel to toe? Walking backwards sometimes is a very useful tool. Walking on unstable surfaces, like I think there's these certain balls or things that you can stand on that also will challenge you and help you with a balance board or a foam pad. Any of those things that you can use, even a folded towel to challenge your stability when the space is not even, or you're up on something that's not as stable as a flat surface. Strength training, I think we can't make our quads, our glutes, our core strong enough as we get older. At some point, there just becomes a difficulty in gaining more muscle after 70. Doing any kind of controlled movement that you find in Tai Chi and yoga and standing in those positions, the warrior position, the tree position, any of those are going to help us with easily strengthening our sense of proprioception. I think the other thing is closing our eyes and standing to see how much our visual or non-visual awareness is. And with your eyes closed, are you clear about up and down and movement to the right and to the left? Of course, do it safely. If you have something nearby that you can hold on to, sometimes turning in a circle just to make sure, in a slow circle, turning slowly, where you can maybe touch something nearby. And even though your eyes are closed, you still visually know where you are in space. And you're moving your hands or your body at the same time as you go around in a simple, maybe you start with a semicircle. Maybe you do that first where you're going right to left to right. All of those things are helpful to strengthen our proprioception. Any of these things will help us as we get older to help us with our balance. I know these are the things that I'm developing every day, and I encourage you to look into any of these elements. I'll leave some websites down below that you can explore how you can strengthen your sense of proprioception. It's a word that I found early on in my discovery of the science world, and it's a hard word to say. I have to think about it. Proprioception. But it is this sense of some kind of inner sixth sense that we understand between our longest nerves from our toes to our brain, that we understand where we are when we're walking down some steps and not having to look, or we're doing something in the dark and we know that our feet are putting one in front of the other. All of that is done through this amazing nerve-brain connection called proprioception. So be well, my friends. Do something every day that's going to keep you strong, healthier, mentally strong, healthier, emotionally strong, healthier as we get into our older years. It's important. It's a daily investment that we can do for ourselves and really for others, because if we're able to be independent well into our older years, it's really a gift. First, it's a gift to yourself, but it's also a gift to your family. They don't have to worry about you. They don't have to be concerned, is someone caring for you? So be well, my friends. Do something every single day to care for yourself with kindness and compassion. And please think about subscribing. I'd love to see you here every Friday and Sunday or more frequently. I love to get in conversations about how you are making choices every single day to be a healthier version of who you are and to keep it going well into your older years. Check me out every Friday and Sunday and take care of this one precious life you have. Let's live it intentionally. Bye-bye.
So thank you so much for joining me at Healthy by George. I hope you found the information inspiring and that it encourages you on your wellness journey. Because remember, your body, your well-being are a most precious gift, and every tiny action taken daily can make a huge difference. I hope the information here is educational purposes and is not meant to replace your medical care. See your doctor and talk about what works for you. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continuing creating content that inspires and empowers you to live your best life. Goodbye for now, and join me again at the next Healthy by George.